So before we run out of time, I'd love to just wrap up by talking about, I guess, the kind of relevance of all of this for our situation on this planet, because you write beautifully about the kind of Gaia hypothesis, the idea that the whole ecosystem might be a kind of autopoietic system, an alive system. And it seems to me that a lot of this perspective, it does resonate with, you kind of mentioned earlier, certain indigenous perspectives, and this concept of deep ecology, where we see ourselves as really embedded in nature, rather than being apart from it. And you've been a real kind of, I guess, a founding figure in this concept of ecoliteracy. Is that something where you're spending a lot of your time these days?
Yeah, no, not anymore. But let me say that the perspective of deep ecology, that we are all an integral part of the web of life. We are a strand in the web of life, which is a very beautiful expression ascribed to a Native American chief, Chief Seattle, who apparently used this term, the web of life, and humans being a strand in the web of life. And this is fully confirmed by the kinds of scientific theories we have been discussing, because when you study life at all levels, you see that we share with all living beings not only the basic molecules of life, the basic proteins, the basic enzymes, the basic membranes, that's all the same throughout life, but also the basic metabolic processes, the basic metabolic pathways, as they are called. And if you accept this theory of cognition, the Santiago theory, you would say we share with all of living beings the basic cognitive patterns. So we are really embedded in life, and therefore whatever we do to nature, we do to ourselves in a very profound sense. So the protection of the environment, the preservation of life, you know, from a deep ecology point of view, is self-preservation. And of course, we naturally want to preserve ourselves. This is how life has evolved, with this very strong desire of self-preservation of all living beings. And so, knowing what we know now, we know that self-preservation is, preservation of the environment is self-preservation. And so this is also very strong in indigenous traditions. In Native American traditions, there's this famous saying of, the animals and plants in the environment are all my relations. Now, if we come back to Darwin, we know that's literally true. They are our relations genetically. We are related. They are our cousins genetically. And so then this creates a deep awareness of being one with the world, of belonging to the universe as a whole, and not being thrown into randomness and chaos, but rather being part of a big process of life, a big symphony of life, if you wish, which is, essentially the spiritual position of how you are aware of yourself and the world in a spiritual experience.
Right. I was just going to say that, yeah, it seems to me that the systems perspective offers a kind of naturalistic understanding of spirituality, as you say, as the kind of maybe an experience of the system's perspective as it applies to yourself and the greater whole.